Hello, welcome back to 1001 Beers. You must try before you die. I'm back at home after visiting the Goose Island tap room and the McKellar brew pub. Not on the same day, this was a while ago. I haven't had any beer today. It's a fairly nice day outside, fairly bright, so I thought I'd take advantage of the sunshine. Still nice and cold though, so I had to keep my beer outside. Just something else to report before I get on to this beer review, which is in my trip to London, I damaged the book. So I've now got sellotape on here, which shows just how much I've actually used this book. It's travelled me far and wide. It's going to be coming with me to California next month for some more beer reviews out there, fingers crossed. But to the matter today, I have a beer from France. First brewed 1994, not 1944. It's 7.2%, and it is Le Goudale. I have a nice little bottle here, 33 centilitres. I found this with Morrison's of all places. I was not expecting to find it. Anyway, I thought I might find it in France at some point, but here we go. It was in Morrison's, so I've got that. Love the bottle, love the design. Love this sort of flask-like. It almost looks a bit like... And actually, I really like their bottles, Aspel cider bottles. I'm not a big fan of cider. I quite like it, but I always like seeing their bottles on the shelves because I like this kind of gourd type shape of it. So we will just look at it for now. It's in this kind of traditional font, even though this was only brought out in 1994, so it's not an ancient beer. It says, there's something about I'll tell you about later about it apparently being brewed to an ancient recipe. So it says Beer Blonde de l'Ancient, so it does purport to be an ancient beer recipe, but it's a relatively new brewery in terms of old-fashioned breweries, especially from Europe. It's got a nice little hop there and a bit of sort of malt there. So, without further ado, let's pour it, and then we'll tell you about the tasting notes. I've got my craft Paulie glass here. Okay, a little designer kind of hops and grain there on the top. Oh, I can smell the beer already. It smells lovely. Pouring nice. It's a lovely colour. Almost certainly not bottle condition, not being an old-fashioned. It's not an old beer, so it should fit in here quite nicely. All in all, that looks nice. Smells quite lagery. Right. Just put that to the side for the moment, just to kind of breathe a bit. Tasting notes: dark gold, apricot yellow in colour, crisp malt nose, and aromatic tropical fruit notes. Right, so it is indeed very much apricot coloured, sort of dark gold. Let's go for the smell. Oh yeah, very much crisp malt nose. Not so sure about tropical fruit notes. I get kind of more of a slight spiciness to it. It says on the palate there are malty, bready, toffee, caramel and pepper notes, plus a hint of malt loaf sweetness. Its strength means there's also alcoholic warmth. Dry finish with citrus in the background. Well, let's go for it. Cheers. Oh, that's lovely. I wasn't expecting that to be quite as nice as it was. I've never had this beer before. I think it tastes a lot of honey, actually. I think that's the overriding. It hasn't got honey in it. It tastes of honey to me. It's kind of sort of honey sweetness, not sugary sweetness. It's got a nice crisp taste to it. That is a really good beer. I'm super impressed. I'm going to delightfully drink the rest of this. It'll be brilliant. Yeah, there is a malt profile to that. I wouldn't say it was bready. Bit of toffee, a little bit of caramel, not really peppery. It is really nice though. It says that there's some alcoholic warmth. I'm not really getting that as much. It doesn't taste like 7.2%. It tastes more like 4%, which is dangerous but lovely. I'll have another sip of that in a minute. This is from a brewery called Géant, which means giant in French. And it is the reason why I've done that. Apparently, the town they're from... the town has an annual procession of giant figures. It's an old Flemish tradition that harks back to the days in the area as part of the Spanish Empire, and there is, in fact, a great picture of the giant figure there, which is quite cool. I've never been there, never seen it. It says giant by name, giant by nature. They brew on an industrial scale nearly 4.8 million gallons of various beer. They make La Bière de Dimon, a beer and tequila mix, a spicy Christmas beer. Let me go, and they have a small pilot microbrewery as well. So this is the bestseller of the brewery, which is why it's in here. It says the brewery claims it is brewed to an ancient medieval recipe that's found in an equally ancient library, although the beer only emerged in 1994. Uses French-grown barley, hops from France, so it's a proper French beer, even though it's not sort of. Well, France hasn't got that massive brewing tradition like Germany and Belgium now, so I think they can make what they want of it, really. And I think this is really, really nice. It doesn't taste like a beer de garde. This is probably the best French beer I've had so far out of the book. Probably the best French beer I've had in total. It says after the brew, the beer undergoes a week's top fermentation. There's a condition between 2 and 3 weeks. It's often packaged in the traditional beer de garde cork bottle, but it's also available in smaller bottles and less romantic form of cans, it says. Let's go for another taste. That is really easy-going, smooth beer. Love the honey sweetness. Slight hint of hops with it. Nice sort of crisp maltiness. This is good. This is a good beer. I understand why it's in the book. That is solid. I'd definitely have this again. If I was in France and there was this or some sort of shitty lager, this every time. This is lovely. I'd like to have one of the big bottles of them actually with the corks. I think that'd be quite good fun. I imagine you get quite a nice amount of carbonation out of that. There isn't a great deal of head on this, which is fine. Don't mind. It tastes lovely. But in the book, it shows a nice head on that. So I'm going to leave it there because I want to go away and drink the rest of this. So that's Le Goudale. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for another beer review very, very soon.